Discussion on verses 1 to 8 of 8. This chapter begins by addressing the Holy Prophet Muhammad, peace and blessings be upon him, and by extension, all those who strive to follow his example. Chapter 94 Sharh, verses 1 to 3.
Did we not expand for you your chest, and remove from you your burden, which had weighed upon your back?
The expansion of the chest and the lifting of burdens symbolize the attainment of peace of mind through sincerely accepting and applying Islamic teachings in one's life. No matter how advanced a society becomes, or how much knowledge it acquires in fields such as psychology, medicine, or social sciences, it cannot create a perfect code of conduct that fully aligns with human nature or accounts for every circumstance, condition, and challenge a person or society may face. Humanity continues to uncover new aspects of human existence, from the complexities of the brain to the intricacies of social behavior, making it impossible for any human-devised system to guarantee lasting balance, justice, and tranquility. Only Allah, the Exalted, possesses the complete knowledge necessary to craft a code of conduct that truly promotes harmony, identifies what is beneficial and harmful, and ensures mental and physical stability. His knowledge encompasses all that has existed, exists now, and will exist in the future. Historical evidence shows that when individuals followed this divine guidance faithfully, it brought about peace of mind for the individual and justice, order, and tranquility for society as a whole. Therefore, individuals must embrace the teachings of Islam fully, recognizing them as the most beneficial for their well-being, even if certain instructions may conflict with personal desires. They should behave like a wise patient who accepts and follows the advice of their doctor, understanding that even unpleasant treatments and strict regimens serve their ultimate benefit. By adhering to this divine guidance, a person can achieve a balanced mental and physical state, correctly prioritize all elements and relationships in their life, and adequately prepare for their accountability on the Day of Judgment. This approach ensures lasting peace of mind in both worlds. In addition, those who reject or avoid acting upon their faith in Islam often do so because of attachment to the material world and a desire to satisfy their own impulses without restriction. They perceive faith as a set of limitations that prevent them from fully enjoying worldly pleasures, leading them to dismiss or ignore it in practice. They often look down upon those who strive to follow Islam by disciplining their actions and using their blessings in ways pleasing to Allah, the Exalted, thinking that such pious individuals are confined and restricted, while they themselves are free to pursue whatever they desire. However, the reality is the opposite. True freedom lies in submission to Allah, the Exalted, because it liberates a person from the enslavement of worldly desires. Those who reject faith are in fact enslaved to their impulses, material possessions, social pressures, and fleeting pleasures. This concept can be illustrated through an example of two children under parental guidance. One child is restricted in their diet, eating only what is healthy, with treats allowed sparingly. At first, they may feel constrained and believe they are missing out. The second child is permitted to eat anything they want, whenever they want, and as much as they desire. Initially, this child feels unrestricted and believes they are free, while the first child appears constrained. Over time, however, the consequences of these choices become evident. The unrestricted child may develop obesity, diabetes, high blood pressure, and mental stress related to body image and health. Their life becomes controlled by diseases, medications, and health limitations. They have become enslaved to the very things they once thought they were free from. The child who followed restrictions grows up healthy in both mind and body, confident in their abilities, and free from the burden of illness and dependency. In this way, the one who appears free in the short term is often the true slave in the long term, while the one who initially seems restricted experiences genuine freedom. Applied to faith, the person who submits only to Allah, the Exalted, gains control over their desires, achieves balance in life, and is liberated from the bondage of materialism, social pressures, and personal whims. Conversely, those who reject submission to Allah become bound by the very things they chase: pleasure, recognition, wealth, and societal approval, resulting in mental, physical, and social difficulties. In conclusion, true slavery is to everything except Allah, the Exalted, social media, fashion, wealth, culture, and personal desires, while true freedom is attained by submitting solely to Him. This submission brings inner peace, mental clarity, physical well-being, and genuine independence from the burdens that otherwise enslave human beings. When a person sincerely learns and acts upon Islamic teachings, the benefits manifest on multiple levels, both personal and societal. On an individual level, such a person attains a balanced mental and physical state. They gain clarity in thought, emotional stability, and the ability to prioritize and manage the relationships and responsibilities in their life effectively. This internal equilibrium allows them to navigate challenges and difficulties with resilience, and ensures that they do not become overwhelmed by stress, anxiety, or desires that conflict with divine guidance. They are able to distinguish between what is truly beneficial and what is harmful, and as a result, they live in a state of inner peace and contentment. But the impact of acting on Islamic teachings does not stop at the individual. Such conduct naturally extends outward into the wider social sphere. By fulfilling the rights of others, such as family members, neighbors, and the less fortunate, through actions rooted in justice, compassion, and integrity, the person promotes harmony and fairness within their immediate surroundings. These efforts strengthen social bonds, reduce conflicts, and encourage a culture of mutual respect. When justice and consideration become the guiding principles of interaction, society as a whole becomes more peaceful, cooperative, and morally grounded. Chapter 94 Ash-Shah, verse 4.
And we raised high for you your repute.
This verse highlights that the elevation of a person's honor and status in the eyes of others is not based on worldly achievements, wealth, or social position alone, but on their adherence to divine guidance and their ability to act with integrity. When a person embodies the principles of Islam, through both inner discipline and outward conduct, they naturally inspire respect, admiration, and trust from those around them. This repute is a reflection of the harmony they bring into the world. Their life becomes a living example of justice, compassion, and balance. Moreover, this honor is not fleeting or superficial. Unlike the temporary praise gained from material success or societal approval, the recognition that comes from acting on Islamic principles is enduring because it is rooted in truth and virtue. It is a form of honor that survives challenges, trials, and the passage of time. People are drawn to those who consistently demonstrate moral courage, fairness, and consideration for others, and this creates a ripple effect, encouraging others to act justly and responsibly, further strengthening the moral fabric of society. In essence, learning and practicing Islamic teachings creates a combined effect between personal peace and societal well-being. The individual who aligns their life with divine guidance gains stability, clarity, and contentment, while their actions foster trust, justice, and respect in the wider community. Their life serves as a model of integrity, demonstrating that true success is measured not by temporary worldly gains, but by the enduring harmony, honor, and peace that comes from living in accordance with the will of Allah, the Exalted. Islam presents a practical and realistic framework for life, acknowledging that difficulties are an inevitable part of the human experience. It does not promise that one who sincerely accepts and acts upon its teachings will be shielded from hardships, for this would negate the very purpose of existence as a test. Life's alternating conditions of ease and difficulty serve as a mechanism to distinguish between those who are sincere in their faith and those who are not, revealing who remains steadfast in obedience to Allah, the Exalted, and who abandons it when tested. Trials are universal, but the promise of Allah, the Exalted, is that those who act sincerely, by using the blessings they have been granted in ways pleasing to Him, will attain lasting peace of mind both in this world and the hereafter. Chapter 94 Ash-Shah, verses 5-6.
For indeed with hardship will be ease. Indeed with hardship will be ease.
These individuals cultivate a balanced mental and physical state, enabling them to place all people, responsibilities, and possessions in their proper context within life. This inner equilibrium allows them to face worldly challenges with patience, clarity, and resilience, all while preparing appropriately for their accountability on the Day of Judgment. It is therefore a fundamental error to assume that simply professing faith in Allah, the Exalted, or performing outward acts of worship guarantees a life free of difficulties. The worldly life is a testing ground, not a paradise. True reward and comfort lie in the hereafter. Life's trials function much like a farmer tending crops, one must endure the labor of planting, watering, and safeguarding before enjoying the harvest. Similarly, enduring life's tests refines character, strengthens faith, and separates the steadfast from the heedless. Those who grasp this principle will approach hardship without despair, and moments of ease without arrogance. They recognize that trials are opportunities for spiritual growth and character development. By responding with patience, gratitude, and proper utilization of their blessings in accordance with Islamic teachings, they secure inner peace that persists even amidst difficulties. Moreover, they cultivate resilience and insight, ensuring that worldly challenges do not displace their focus on the eternal success promised by Allah, the Exalted. To ensure that a person remains steadfast in their obedience to Allah, the Exalted, by properly utilizing the blessings He has granted and adhering to the principles outlined in Islamic teachings, including fulfilling the rights of others, Allah, the Exalted, has prescribed both obligatory and voluntary prayers. These prayers serve as a structured framework for spiritual discipline, continuously reminding a person of their purpose and responsibilities. Chapter 94 Ash-Sharh, verse 7.
So when you have finished your duties, then stand up for worship.
The repeated emphasis on establishing the prayer throughout Islamic teachings reflects its central role in shaping a believer's character. Prayer is the axis around which all righteous actions revolve. It forms the foundation of a person's relationship with Allah, the Exalted, and serves as the means by which they remain steadfast in righteousness. True prayer, however, is not confined to outward movements. It is an act of deep humility and reflection that connects the worshipper to the reality of the hereafter. This humility emerges when a person understands that each stage of the prayer symbolizes a moment of the Day of Judgment, reminding them of their ultimate accountability before their Creator. For this reason, the 5 daily prayers are distributed throughout the day rather than being performed at one time. Each prayer interrupts the flow of worldly activity, offering a renewed opportunity to pause, reflect, and realign one's conduct with divine guidance. When a person stands upright in prayer, they are reminded of the moment when all of humanity will stand before Allah, the Exalted, awaiting judgment. Chapter 83 Al-Mutaffifin, verses 4-6.
Do they not think that they will be resurrected? For a tremendous day, the day when mankind will stand before the Lord of the worlds.
When the worshipper bows, they are reminded of those who will be condemned on the Day of Judgment for refusing to bow to Allah, the Exalted, during their earthly lives. Chapter 77 Al-Mursalat, verse 48.
And when it is said to them, bow in prayer, they do not bow.
This criticism extends beyond physical bowing. It includes the refusal to submit practically to the commands of Allah, the Exalted, in all aspects of life. When the worshipper prostrates, they are reminded of the scene on the Day of Judgment when people will be invited to prostrate before Allah, the Exalted, but those who failed to prostrate correctly in this world, meaning those who did not obey Him sincerely, will find themselves unable to do so. Chapter 68 Al-Kalam, verses 42-43.
On the day when matters become dire, they will be invited to prostrate themselves but will be prevented from doing so. Their eyes humbled, humiliation will cover them. And they used to be invited to prostration while they were sound.
When the worshipper sits on their knees during the prayer, they are reminded of the posture in which all nations will sit before Allah, the Exalted, on the Day of Judgment, awaiting the announcement of their deeds with fear and anticipation. Chapter 45 Al-Jatiyah, verse 28.
And you will see every nation kneeling from fear. Every nation will be called to its record and told, today you will be recompensed for what you used to do.
The one who prays with these meanings in mind establishes their prayer correctly. Such a prayer strengthens the heart, disciplines the soul, and ensures sincere obedience to Allah, the Exalted, in the periods between the prayers. Chapter 29 Al-Ankabut, verse 45.
Indeed, prayer prohibits immorality and wrongdoing.
This obedience is reflected in the conscious and deliberate use of the blessings granted by Allah, the Exalted, in ways that align with His guidance, as articulated in the Holy Quran and the teachings of the Holy Prophet Muhammad, peace and blessings be upon him. When a person internalizes this understanding, acts of worship, such as prayer, transcend ritual and become transformative experiences. They shape character, purify intentions, and anchor one's life firmly on the path of righteousness and ethical conduct. By practicing such obedience, an individual attains peace of mind, achieving a balanced mental and physical state. They learn to place every matter, relationship, and responsibility in its proper place, cultivating harmony within their personal life. At the same time, this personal discipline extends outward into society. Through conscientious action and adherence to divine guidance, a person fulfills the rights of others, promoting justice, fairness, and compassion. In this way, the obedience of a single individual contributes not only to their own spiritual and psychological well-being, but also to the cultivation of social order, equity, and peace, demonstrating the holistic and interconnected wisdom embedded in the teachings of Islam. Chapter 94 Ash-Sharh, verse 7.
So when you have finished your duties, then stand up for worship.
Voluntary night worship, also known as the night prayer, is a profound demonstration of sincerity towards Allah, the Exalted, as it is performed privately with no one else observing. It represents an intimate dialogue between the worshipper and Allah, the Exalted, and reflects true servanthood. Its spiritual benefits are immense. A hadith found in Sunan an-Nasai, number 1614, mentions that this prayer is the best form of voluntary worship, highlighting its elevated status. The special rank of the Holy Prophet Muhammad, peace and blessings be upon him, is directly linked to the night prayer, illustrating the immense virtue of this worship. Those who observe the night voluntary prayer sincerely are blessed with higher spiritual ranks in both this world and the hereafter. Chapter 17 Al-Isra, verse 79.
And from part of the night pray with it, i.e., recitation of the Quran as additional worship for you. It is expected that your Lord will resurrect you to a praise station.
The last part of the night holds particular significance, as a hadith found in Jami at-Tirmidhi, number 3579, advises that a worshipper is closest to Allah, the Exalted, during this time. Those who remember Allah, the Exalted, in these hours can derive countless blessings. Additionally, the voluntary night prayer provides an opportunity for supplications to be answered, as noted in Sahih Muslim, number 1770, where a special hour in the night is described during which requests are always accepted. Establishing the night prayer offers practical benefits beyond spiritual rewards. It helps prevent one from falling into sinful behavior, encourages avoidance of unnecessary social distractions, and promotes physical and mental well-being. This is supported by a hadith found in Jami at-Tirmidhi, number 3549, which highlights its protective and corrective aspects. Preparation for the night prayer is crucial to ensure focus and devotion. Overeating or excessive drinking before bedtime should be avoided to prevent lethargy. One should manage physical exertion during the day, allowing sufficient rest, and even a short daytime nap can help maintain alertness. Most importantly, one should strive to maintain obedience to Allah, the Exalted, by fulfilling His commands, avoiding prohibited actions, and facing life's challenges with patience. Those who live in this state of devotion find it easier to perform the night prayer with sincerity and dedication, maximizing both its spiritual and practical benefits. By consistently observing the voluntary night prayer, a person strengthens their connection with Allah, the Exalted, purifies their heart, protects themselves from sin, and develops discipline that enhances their overall balance in life. This practice cultivates a deep sense of peace, accountability, and preparedness for the hereafter, ensuring that the individual grows in both spiritual and worldly success. This chapter concludes with a powerful reminder about the centrality of intention in all actions. Every deed should be performed with the aim of pleasing Allah, the Exalted. Chapter 94 Ash-Sharh, verse 8.
And to your Lord direct your longing.
A hadith found in Jami at-Tirmidhi, number 3154, emphasizes the seriousness of intention. The Holy Prophet Muhammad, peace and blessings be upon him, cautioned that anyone performing actions for reasons other than pleasing Allah, the Exalted, will be told on Judgment Day to seek their reward from the objects or people they acted for, a task that is impossible. This illustrates that the value of every action depends entirely on the purity of its intention. The foundation of all deeds, and indeed of Islam itself, lies in intention. It is the measure upon which Allah, the Exalted, judges people, as confirmed in the hadith found in Sahih Bukhari, number 1. A person who truly acts for Allah's sake directs both their religious and worldly actions toward Him, seeking reward only from Him in both this life and the hereafter. A key sign of such sincerity is that they neither seek nor expect recognition, appreciation, or gratitude from people. If they do, it indicates that their intention is not wholly aligned with Allah, the Exalted. Acting with the correct intention also shields one from emotional harm. Those who perform deeds for the sake of people often face ingratitude, criticism, or even hostility, which can lead to frustration, bitterness, and a sense of wasted effort. This scenario is common among parents and relatives who act for their children's or family's benefit, but do so seeking appreciation rather than Allah's pleasure. In contrast, a person who performs actions solely for Allah, the Exalted, fulfills all duties toward children, family, and society, without being affected by others' ingratitude. Their satisfaction comes from knowing that Allah, the Exalted, fully comprehends their sincerity and will reward them appropriately. Maintaining this mindset fosters lasting peace of mind and genuine contentment. It prevents resentment and emotional fatigue, allowing the person to continue performing righteous deeds consistently. This is not only practical for personal well-being, but essential for spiritual success, as it ensures that their actions yield reward in the hereafter. Chapter 18 Al-Kahf, verse 110.
So whoever would hope for the meeting with his Lord, let him do righteous work and not associate in the worship of his Lord anyone.
In essence, the purity of intention transforms ordinary actions into acts of devotion. When all deeds, whether spiritual, social, or personal, are directed toward pleasing Allah, the Exalted, they become a source of continuous reward, protection, and tranquility in both worlds. This approach cultivates a life where actions are aligned with divine guidance, allowing a person to navigate responsibilities and relationships without attachment to worldly validation, secure in the knowledge that Allah, the Exalted, will acknowledge and recompense every sincere effort. To conclude, a person must embrace and implement the teachings of Islam for their own benefit, even when those teachings challenge their personal inclinations. Their attitude should resemble that of a discerning patient who willingly follows the medical guidance of a skilled physician, recognizing that the treatment, though it may involve bitter medicine or a demanding diet, is ultimately for their well-being. Just as such a patient eventually attains sound physical and mental health, the individual who adheres to Islamic teachings attains inner balance, clarity, and stability. This is because the only one who possesses complete knowledge of what enables a human being to achieve a balanced mental and physical state, and to correctly prioritize everything and everyone within their life, is Allah, the Exalted. Human knowledge, no matter how advanced, can never reach this level of perfection. Despite extensive research into the human mind and body, society cannot resolve every difficulty a person may face, nor can it shield individuals from all forms of mental and physical stress. Human advice is limited by incomplete knowledge, restricted experience, lack of foresight, and personal biases. Allah, the Exalted, alone possesses perfect knowledge, and He has conveyed what humanity needs through the Holy Quran and the traditions of the Holy Prophet Muhammad, peace and blessings be upon him. This truth becomes evident when one observes the difference between those who use their blessings in accordance with Islamic teachings and those who do not. The contrast is visible in their conduct, their emotional stability, and the outcomes of their choices. Although patients often do not understand the scientific details behind the medicines they are prescribed, and therefore trust their doctor without full comprehension, Allah, the Exalted, does not expect people to follow Islam blindly. Instead, He invites them to reflect upon its teachings so that they may recognize its truthfulness and appreciate the positive effects it brings to their lives. He calls people to approach Islam with insight and understanding, not imitation or unexamined acceptance. Chapter 12 Yusuf, verse 108.
Say, this is my way, I invite to Allah with insight, I and those who follow me.
Furthermore, as Allah, the Exalted, alone governs the spiritual hearts of people, the true seat of peace of mind, He alone determines who attains tranquility and who does not. Chapter 53 and Najm, verse 43.
And that it is He who makes one laugh and weep.
It is therefore clear that Allah, the Exalted, grants peace of mind only to those who use the blessings He has given them in the correct manner, as outlined in Islamic teachings. Those who live according to divine guidance attain clarity, balance, and inner stability, while those who misuse their blessings fall into confusion, imbalance, and distress. True peace, mental, physical, and spiritual, comes only from living according to the wisdom revealed by Allah, the Exalted, and from recognizing that His guidance is the only path that leads to tranquility in both worlds. Chapter 16 An-Nahl, verse 97.
Whoever does righteousness, whether male or female, while he is a believer, we will surely cause him to live a good life, and we will surely give them their reward in the hereafter according to the best of what they used to do.
All praise is due to Allah, Lord of the worlds, and may peace and blessings be upon His final messenger, Muhammad, his noble family and companions.